food here in the lecture hall. But it's time to climb across the quad. Salem University is in session, and this is Days for Dummies. Hi, it's me, Matt.
Everybody is Cat. Good morning.
Good morning, and you're here. We're here to talk about Days of Our Lives, the week of Days of Our Lives. December 9th, 2024. Getting very close to the end of the year, Mama.
Sure is.
We're going to have to do recaps and retrospectives before you know it.
I know. Actually, I was thinking about that. We need to do some kind of end of the year thing, don't we?
Yeah, it's time to do another Perfect 10 special.
I think so.
You know, last year we gave out Perfect 10s for General Hospital. And so now that we're a little bit deeper into Days of Our Lives and GH, we should give out some Perfect 10s for both of those. You know, Perfect 10 for Best Debut, Perfect 10 for Surprising Death.
Those are good categories right there already.
Yeah. What did we do last? I don't even remember. But we got the community involved. You know, Benny and Christy, they did a little clip. So did Donald Peebles, and a bunch of people are actually on that Suds in the Squared Circle podcast-a-thon that they did a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. Hey. So we'll start planning that. And then that's also probably a good time to start giving away those Days of Our Lives autographs that we had collected as well.
We do have a few.
Christmas gift autographs, everybody. How does that sound?
Yeah.
You know, we'll do a random drawing. Maybe we'll do a trivia. We'll do a something.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to see if the box was within reach, and I don't see it immediately to show everybody. You know, it was like Paulina. Paulina's in there. Where did it go?
It was just right there, huh?
It's behind me. I'm gonna get it real quick. Hi, Sandra, Jeannie, and Michelle. Hello, and Vita. Classes in section. Say hello to those folks while I grab the box.
Hey, guys. Good morning. Glad to see you're here.
Hey, we're here. You know how it is, 9 a.m. The energy's at 2, okay? Or 11, whatever.
Well, we tried.
Oh, I've got this here.
This morning.
You know what this reminds me of? So this came, you know, days, they had the remembrance things. So you can donate to a charity or to a church of Bill Hayes and Drake Hogestyn's, you know, in their hearts. So they got this, and then this week I was talking with my good friend Sue Factor, who's a former writer for Soap Opera Digest. I met her while doing Uber driving.
Yeah.
And she knows these people super well. Like, she's been friends with the cast and the creators of, specifically, Days of Our Lives a lot. I get a lot of memories from her about Days sent to me through text.
That's cool.
And she was invited to go to the memorial for Bill Hayes.
Oh.
And so she sent me this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up on Twitter, or I'll try to email it to myself at some point. But she emailed me this, and I'll try to show a better version of it. But basically, she showed me the little pamphlet.
Oh, yeah.
And it was signed by Susan. It says, "With love, Susan Hayes."
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm going to email that to myself right now so I can show everybody it properly and give Sue Factor the proper credit for that. But it was nice to see some, or at least hear some real life reaction from the real life Bill Hayes Memorial, which had to have been a long time ago now, unless they had a second special one.
I'm sure it was some time ago. I'm sure it was. People don't usually, I mean, they may wait a few weeks, but they don't wait forever, especially now that most folks are not actually buried.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly what the timeline is on that, but she did send me the picture of it and some reflections of her time with it, and said it was a beautiful ceremony with lots of loving faces and such. And so
I'm sure it was.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. It's nice to be a part of a community to a degree, you know. Like I think about talking to Brian Totillo last week, and you know, we heard some of his memories of working with like Drake Hogestyn and such, you know, where these people have just left a huge impact on the lives of not only the viewers but the people that they worked with as well.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Jeannie says that Bill's service was shared on YouTube, so I guess go look that up, folks. Hmm.
Oh, well then Jeannie, you probably know when it was then. When was it, months ago?
Yeah, let us know. Let us know. I'm trying to download this off of my phone. I find myself getting really old.
You think?
Yeah, I'm just starting to get there. Starting to get
Oh,
there,
you have
folks.
no idea how your parents feel.
Just let me just gotta pull my glasses to the end of my nose here and just take a look. Hey, so that's attached now, and you hit the done button, and then there's like a send somewhere. Oh, there it is. Yeah, this is me, Clyde Weston, trying to use my new cell phone to get the Chad. Is Clyde this old? He might be. By the time he wakes up, he will be.
If he wakes up at all.
If he wakes up at all.
Right?
I don't know, man. So they've literally put him on ice, haven't they?
They put him, he's in the surgery. He's not dead yet.
No, he's comatose.
Yeah, he's
You
in a
know,
coma.
Bo wiggles his finger, and God was like, "I need to have this many people in a coma. If Bo Brady is waking up, then one other character of Days of Our Lives must go down."
Well, and that's a good choice, isn't it?
It
Quite a good choice, everybody.
is. Clyde is done
He's
for,
awful.
folks.
He is awful.
He's awful and he's done, and Katarina's alive, and we found out she's alive, and it was just what a big what to do. And then the cover art this week for this podcast, Mother, this cover art, Days has gone bananas. You know what? You know what I use. You know why it's bananas?
Yes,
Because there were
yes,
guns all over the place.
yes. Your firearm of bananas.
Oh my god. Oh
You
my
got
god.
Katrina with the banana.
Gabby with the banana. JJ with the banana. We've got God, Chad had a banana, Clyde had a banana, everybody had a banana. There were bananas
Everybody.
galore. Bananas galore. And of course, if you've been following us on Days for Dummies, you know that banana is a euphemism that we have for guns. Because I don't want to put
Yeah.
a gun on the YouTube banner, but sometimes the picture's so good I can't avoid the gun. And so I had the gun with the banana. So if you're an audio listener, just come on over to the YouTube channel and hit subscribe and take a look at some of the fun cover art I do sometimes.
It's pretty good.
Bananas.
Bananas.
This stuff
Days
is
of our life is
bananas.
gone bananas.
Bananas. This stuff is bananas. All right, so you can't see this at this very moment in time, but I am showing the thingy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very lovely picture. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break the stream for a moment. Everybody can still see, but I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
That way you can see, Mother, what it looks like.
Oh. Well, that's
It's a lovely picture. It really is. Look, it's them just. I guess this is in Los Angeles.
oh, yeah, it is Los Angeles, isn't it?
Yeah, just them posing and looking happy together, out and about. I don't know who these people are, off in the corner. Photo
Wait, what's
bombing.
again?
I'm
And
sorry.
the thing,
Can you
right? That's what the top says.
Oh, so the time says, and the angels sing. And then
Uh-huh.
down
The
toward the bottom, forever and never with love, Susan Hayes. Hallelujah.
hallelujah.
Beautiful lilac color, white border, white lettering, and just a wonderful recent picture
It
of
is. You
Susan
can tell
Seaforth
it's
has.
very recent.
Like very recent. Look how happy, look how genuinely happy these two people are.
Yeah.
Just what a life. What a
I think they
life they lived.
figured it out.
They really
I think
did. They really did. Because they were married for pretty much as long as they were on the show together, right, Jeannie? I'm sure you know how long they were married. Let us know how long they were married, Jeannie. How long did they
they-
work together on Days before falling in love in real life?
50 years, probably.
I mean, that's how long she's been on the show, for like 56 or something like that.
Mhm.
Because she wasn't the first Julie, but she was the first recast Julie.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there's been another Julie, and if there has been, it's been like the Julie for the 1 year. You know what I mean? Like the one that doesn't really matter, not in the long run.
Yeah. The quick Julie.
Yeah. The quick Julie. Oh my gosh. Oh goodness. Who else is here? Amaya. Amaya's here. Hi, Amaya. 50 years. They got married in 1974.
Wow.
That's like when you met Dad.
And I hadn't even yet.
Yeah, look
I
at
met
that.
Dad in 1977.
Well, there you go, folks. The Susan Seaforth Hayes and Bill Hayes together longer than my parents even knew each other existed.
Now we were actually, we went to the same school, but didn't know each other.
Hmm.
We were in the same school at 13 years old.
So you were middle
Well,
school together, didn't really know, didn't have a class
we didn't know each
together.
other. Met when we were 15 in 1977.
Then Newark High School.
Newark Memorial High
Oh,
School.
you went to Memorial. Excuse me. Not the rival. Excuse
Not
me.
the rival. It doesn't
Excuse
exist.
me.
Yeah,
Oh, goodness.
long
Oh,
time.
yeah, very long time.
Long
A
time.
long time. They figured out, and so did you all so far. Jeannie says that the link for Bill's service is here. So Jeannie is shared. Moderator Jeannie, TA Jeannie, sharing a link to Bill
Thank
Hayes'
you.
services here in
That's
the
awesome.
chat. So yeah, that's good. That's good. If I was a better stream person, I would take this link and then put it in the description, but I'm not, so I'm not going to do that. You just have to wait until we get to this point in the replay to look at the chat again and then click the link there. Ha!
My goodness.
Ha! So, all right, Ma. Clyde's out. Doug is in. Okay. Dougie 3, Doug the third. What do we call him? What do we call him to differentiate him from Doug? Do we just call him Doug because he's the only Doug that there is now?
Well, I'll figure, when I decide if he's really, when I decide if he's really a heel or not, I'll give him a proper name.
Yeah. You give him some sort of Sawyer nickname from Lost. You call him Hats or something.
Now, I think Dougie's okay.
Yeah, Dougie. Little Dougie into town with the necklace in his pocket. Because he showed up at the house and he was just like, what do they got to steal?
Mm-hmm.
I heard about these Hortons in prison.
Yeah, and they, yeah.
And then we got to find out who his cellmate was, okay? Because I'm convinced at this point that the fake flashback wasn't really a flashback of our Doug, but this Doug.
I think so.
So we got to find out who this cellmate was that pumped his mind full of all this Salem stuff.
And but the cellmate's name was also Bill.
But it's not Bill Horton, though.
No, it's not
Unless
Bill
there's a
Horton.
Billy Horton somewhere that we've never heard about or has fallen off the show. Is there a Billy Horton, everybody? We know.
So we don't really know if he's a Horton yet, though. Even though they gave a call to his supposed,
they called his daddy.
They call it daddy, but that didn't necessarily mean that's who it is.
No, I mean it's a soap opera, so he could be an alien.
Yeah, I mean they didn't provide him a photo. Hey, your son showed up.
It's true.
He said,
It's
yes,
true.
I
I understand that there's actually scams that are played on the elderly, where they're like, it's your grandkid. I need $100 for jail.
Oh yeah, and now in today's technology, they can copy your voice
with all of that crazy AI dark web stuff. You're totally right.
Yes.
And now, because we have so much of us talking on the internet, anybody can do it. All they have to do is come to the 10th Floor podcast channel.
Exactly.
And
I've heard of that.
They could be you. They could be me. They could sell our voices to TomTom for people's navigational needs. Is TomTom still a company, folks? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Sometimes I try to go for a deep cut reference for humor. I hope it works.
Well, I know what a TomTom is.
I hope everybody else does. His father was Little Dougie, says Sandra. So if this Doug's father was Little Dougie, then this one is like mini D. I don't know. Like how you got to be smaller than Little Dougie because you got Big Doug, Big Doug Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they were from a more rough and tumble part of town, he might even have been called Big Doug because he had Little Doug, his kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So is the Doug the third. I'm still thinking, says Sandra, that there may be interesting info in the letters in that box that nobody has really looked at yet.
I agree.
So, maybe Alice's secret knowing of little tiny Doug Williams III. I've kept the secret.
There's got to be something in that box, right?
Something else other than this diamond necklace that could have solved all of the Horton family money troubles at any point during the length of the show. Anytime they're like, oh no, what are we going to do? We're going to lose the house. Well,
Hmm.
Alice, you do have that diamond necklace in the chimney.
Right.
Well, Alice. Well, Alice. Alice is just such a good old school name, man.
Alice is, isn't
It
it?
really is. It just rolls out of your throat when you're thinking of 1960 something. And that was
And
yeah.
Alice, and yeah, there's a few like that. Helen,
Oh yeah, that's another good
Alice.
one. Alice and Helen. Alice and Helen were probably good friends growing up. There was Alice and Helen growing up right there in Salem, right? And then off on the other side near the docks, you had young Victor Kiriakis, little 6-year-old Victor Kiriakis running around with Caroline Brady, falling in love as youths just across town from Alice and Helen,
Yeah.
growing up arm in arm. Going to the department store. Woolsworth's has opened. Let's go into Woolsworth's.
Oh, yes, we can go to the luncheon. BLT.
Oh,
Mom joke.
God. Just makes me think of Roseanne working in that little mall diner.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I don't. So if there's anybody to find important information in these letters in this box, I vote for Brian DeTillo. I vote for Lucas Horton to come across some sort of letter, for him to read it and go, you know what? The first letter of every sentence in this spells
Yeah.
out, don't
Oh,
trust little Dougie.
some decoding would be good, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't that be great? It's like she didn't write her A's like that. Why did she write her A's like this in this letter? This isn't my mother's handwriting. This isn't my sister's handwriting. This isn't my grandmother's handwriting. Whoever you are, related
I
to
hope
Alice Horton.
I hope they come up with something like that. That'd be good.
Did you know that she was only 55 when the show started?
Who was only 55 when the show?
Alice.
She was 55 when the show started,
Yeah.
and she was on it for a long,
She was on it
long,
until the
long
mid
time.
90s or early 2000s or something like that. I think it was the early 2000s. I think she was on for a good decade longer than old Mr. Horton. Tom.
Okay.
Because Tom, I believe he died of lung cancer. You know how all those old timey actors, these actors that talk like this,
Hmm.
they all died of lung cancer.
Actually, you know what? I was looking at a list of I saw something on some social media where they were showing cause of death for, a lot of these older Hollywood people.
Yeah.
And you're right. Tons of them died from lung cancer.
Chain
And
smoking.
and equally spread too.
Yeah.
Lung cancer don't care what gender you are.
No, 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 no. And back then, oh my gosh, I remember watching this Planet of the Apes documentary, like the making of Planet of the Apes, like the original one,
Mhm.
in which they were sitting there at lunch with all of their ape makeup on, which they couldn't take off for lunch, but they still had access to their mouths, and they were sitting there with these long forks, like eating into their human mouths through the Planet of the Apes mouths. And then they also had these long sticks that they stuck the cigarette at the end of, that the classic like Cruella de Vil thing, where
Like a
they could
temporary thing.
so they could
Yeah.
still smoke their cigarettes while still wearing all of this makeup. It was so prevalent. And you know this, you were alive, not during that time, but you know, uh, up until the 80s, in which everything still had a yellow sheen.
I remember my mom grocery shopping, and I remember her smoking in the grocery store.
Yeah, right?
I
Pushing,
remember, and that was not unusual.
yeah, it's just all over the place.
Smokers and non-smokers alike smell like cigarettes.
It's just the country just smelled like cigarettes and everything had a tobacco sheen on it,
Yeah.
you know?
And now the country smells like marijuana.
And that's why and that's why everything was kind of like had like a little green tint or a yellow tint to it, not because it was covered in the tobacco smoke, but because it was gonna anyway, so we're just gonna sell it to you yellow. Didn't Robert change little Dougie's name to Charles because Doug and Robert had a fight? I believe so, but it was a little foggy, says Michelle. And Maya backs that up, saying, yes, his name was changed to Charles. Hope said that this week, I think. Well, he's just took Doug back. Hope does not trust this guy. That's for sure.
Hope is going to be doubling back to Salem pretty quick, though. But
Oh,
probably
oh. With what? I'm sorry, your audio is dropping.
Isn't Hope gonna show up, come back, double back to
I think
Salem
so.
and
I
have
don't.
Bo with her?
Yeah, I think. I don't know when, but she will eventually soon. I know that I'm pretty sure that's like not a well kept secret or anything. But would hope
Right.
coming back.
Yeah.
So I think so, and maybe it's gonna be all connected to this whole Doug thing. Like I really need you, Bo, and Bo wakes up, and then they start some sort of detective caper together. Because that's what they
Mm-hmm.
do, man. It's what they do. They go on. You know how Luke and Laura, would go on an adventure.
Yes.
Bo and Hope. They're adventurers. It's what they
Oh,
do. They're the
okay.
adventure team.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing them.
So if Bo comes back, Hope needs him, and so now they're in an adventure with
Mhm.
with new Doug. Where he's
Mhm.
like, I'm the new Clyde.
Well, Hope don't trust that guy at all.
No, he doesn't. No, she doesn't. No, she
No.
doesn't. She actually needs to lock arms with Jennifer, who also has like I don't trust them ESP. That's not
Yeah.
really a member of my family or whatever it
And
is.
and the two girls they're close to one another. They're cousins. Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping for some really awesome, fun story. That's what they keep on saying. Like those interviews and stuff. It's like we're returning to family drama, And so, hey,
I like it. I
this is
like it. You know what
family.
else I like this week, Matt?
What's that?
I like that Ava and Kristen slapped the crap out of each other.
Of course you did. Of course you did. I wish that they had just let them go, like just, before they're falling through tables in Hortontown Square. Somebody gets knocked into the bushes, they get up and there's leaves all up in their hair. Yeah, like let's go there, Days of Our Lives. Let's go
I
there.
knew it. Yeah, I knew Ava was going to hit her back.
Well, she's not a non-hitter, is she? Is
Nope.
she? Definitely embodies hit, get hit. So, okay, you can hit me, I'm gonna
Well,
hit you right back, Miss Kristen. I don't care
I
who
am
you are. I
looking
don't care what your last name is.
I'm looking forward to the bell ringing and round two starting.
Ding ding.
Um, yeah, they're going to fight over Brady, aren't they?
Streaming
They're
live on Netflix,
over
everybody.
themselves a Brady cake.
It's Kristen DeMira versus Ava. What's her last name on the
Vitale.
show? Vitale? Okay, it's not
Vitale.
Jerome. It's definitely not Ava Jerome. So Ava Vitale versus Kristen DeMira live on Netflix.
Yes.
Preliminary fight will be Logan Paul versus versus Mike Tyson Part 2,
Oh my
leading up to
God.
the main event of Kristen versus Ava. No gloves.
No gloves.
Bare
Bare
knuckle boxing.
fisted, huh?
Bam, bam. Like let's do it. Let's do it. Let us do it. Days of Our Lives of all of the shows is the one that could get away with. You know what, Philip, says Xander? I think that we need to work our way up to a boxing match. What do you think? You know? You know? I think we need to work this out like men, don't you?
Didn't one of them call the other one a little bitch this week?
Oh my gosh. No, it wasn't them. It was Alex who called Johnny. He said you handled that like a little bitch.
Right. And that made me laugh too much. When that kind of stuff happens, I mean, I know that's not a word that's allowed on television. I realize that. You
Well,
can
it
say that
is.
word. But the content in which they use it isn't used that much on broadcast TV. It seemed like be a streamy thing,
Yeah, right.
I loved it.
You're right. You're right. I don't see anybody on like ABC. You're not gonna see you're not gonna see Dante and Michael in a fight in which Dante's like, you know what, Michael, you're being a little bitch right now. No, you're not
Right.
gonna see that on an ABC. Definitely, probably more a Peacock stream thing. So good though, so funny. It made me laugh, and I gotta say, there was a long time in which I just didn't really care much about Alex. I understood what he was doing. I understood his role on the show. I understood what family he was a part of, but I didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
I care now. I really like Alex now. Him having that money, then okay. This is where we get to like split hairs between like treating them like they're real people versus characters that are written on television. But him getting and losing that money has changed the Alex perspective, either in how they're writing him or how he just is as a person, in
It,
such a
it
wonderful
seemed
way.
it seemed to have a humbling effect on
It
him.
did. It did. It's like he has a greater understanding of what his true faults are.
Hmm.
You know.
And it seems like a little bit since his tryst with Kristen.
Hmm.
You don't want to be such a um, you don't want to be such a man whore anymore
He doesn't
either.
want to be such a playboy.
No, he doesn't want to be
No.
such a playboy.
No.
He
No.
seems to be that he would really like to find love, it seems
Aw,
like.
and I hope he finds it with Stephanie. Those two crazy kids deserve it after all this time.
I don't know. I don't know.
You think she's feeling some Philip a little too much?
I think well, that's Stephanie. She's not as good as she thinks that she wants everyone
Ooh, you got a little mean
about
streak like her
Stephanie.
daddy, huh? Her daddy's got a little mean streak too.
Yeah.
But he always
Yeah.
used his mean streak for good. Well, I mean, I can't say always, but
Well, Stephanie I just don't think she's as innocent and just as wholesome wants Count of Salem to think she
got
is.
it. So she thinks. So you think that since she's such a PR mastermind, that she's PRing her life for people to think that she's one thing, while in reality, she's a little ready to jump those bones of like formerly dead ex-husbands and stuff.
So,
Or maybe looking at Alex a little bit too much when I'm dating Chad.
yeah,
My
I
kids are
think
in
so.
the other room, Stephanie. Well, he, needed a cup of sugar and just happened to not be wearing a shirt when he came to ask for the cup. It's nothing, Chad. You're looking
She's no
into it.
control. She has no control. She gonna hit it and get it right there in the studio.
Vita changing subject on us, but that's okay. We'll get to it later. But she's worried about Tate winding up with a little tater tot of his own.
Well, that could happen.
I don't know if I'm ready for Brady to be grandpa.
No, I'm not ready for Brady to be a grandpa. No,
He barely has gray hair himself, Like he's
no. And that would
Grandpa
make
Brady.
Teresa a grandma if she
Oh
ever
my
gets out of
God.
jail. Poor
See,
thing.
no, not yet. Not yet. We don't need, high school senior stuff. I mean, I know it happens in real life, but I don't need that for Brady.
No.
That's all I care about. I care about Brady in this situation. I don't care about Tate.
Brady hasn't figured out how to be an adult himself, not all the way.
I know, right? He's still crazy doing all this stuff and, like thinking that he hits people with cars and he didn't. And he has his own drama is what I'm saying.
He does.
All kinds of drama.
But I like him and Ava together, though. I do.
You kind of, yeah. Well, I mean, there were some people in the chat, Amaya and Megan or Megan. Is it Megan or Megan? I don't know. Let me know. Amaya and Megan both agree that Kristen just needs to move on at this point.
She does. She does because now now she's making herself look ridiculous, isn't she?
I mean, now, we're geriatrically fighting over men. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I guess so.
Reach into we can't even have babies with this guy anymore, and we're still fighting over him like this.
Right.
Come on.
That Brady, he's a slab of man.
He is. Amaya defending it, saying, "Hey, he's old enough to be a grandpa. Brady's old enough. Sure, he's old enough, but that doesn't mean I want him to be a grandpa yet. It changes things when you're a grandpa. Because then you're like, I got grandkids, and then you look like you look like Eric Marstolf, and you said, oh, by the way, I got grandkids, and people either go, oh wow, you look great for 70, or they go, oh,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It happened a little while, but I remember Dad and I were at a comedy club in Vegas.
Yeah.
And what the heck is his name? He's Raymond's brother, tall actor. Everybody loves Raymond's brother. Tall actor. Anyway, we were at his show because he has a comedy club, and he was there that night. And he was asking, some audience questions. And he's asking us how long we've been together, how long we've been married. And he said to us, "What'd you do? Get married when you were 12?"
Ah,
So my point is, Brady could easily be a grandpa.
he could. Anybody could be a grandchild so long as your child has a child. And that you could be a grandparent, and you usually are a grandparent, completely independent of your own choices.
Yes. And the youngest grandmother I've ever met. My stepmother was a grandmother at 28 years old.
Oh wow, 28, huh? All right, so that's
Yes.
just boom, boom.
She had her daughter at 14, and then her daughter had a daughter at 14.
But this was what year was this? Was it 19 something?
This
19
was
something.
like 1979, 1978.
Oh, okay. So I mean, we're in the cross of like people getting electricity and indoor plumbing, and now they had to not fill their time with boning because they could like watch television and make tea, and so we didn't have kids so quickly. I get it. I totally get it. I totally get it. I was having a
Mhm.
side conversation with Megan in the chat, making sure that I was saying her name right.
Mm. I have met a
uh,
Megan. I've only met one, but I have
mhm.
met a Megan before.
Yeah.
A lot more Megans, but I have.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
used to work
I've
with a
always
girl.
heard Megan is like is like the parody name for Megan. Like not Megan's not real. It's like an exaggerated, like really bratty person. Come on, Megan. No, no. Anyway,
This
Key and
girl was
Key
actually
and
a
Peele.
bratty girl, to think of it.
Well, it's a good thing that Megan isn't Megan, because I don't want that brattiness in my chat. Brad Garrett, says Michelle. That's who we
There
were
you
thinking of.
go. That's who it
Brad
was.
Garrett.
Brad Garrett.
Everybody loves Raymond. Come on, Raymond.
Yep, that's the way he used to say it. That
Duh.
kind of sound like him a little bit.
I'm a cop.
Yep.
Come on, Raymond. No, he did other shows too. He did the Brad Garrett show.
Mhm.
That was on. And now I remember we did a Sony studio tour while they were filming that, and we saw their set. And they're like, "Hey, Easter egg for everybody that loves Raymond, by the way. If you take a look at this matte painting that we have outside the front door of Brad Garrett's house, it's actually the House of Raymond."
Yes, I
Yeah.
remember that. And his
Yes.
co-star was Fisher.
Yes.
Goldie Fisher.
Yes. And then he also did a show called Single Parents for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Brad
Mm-hmm.
Garrett. Come to soaps,
Yeah.
Brad. Come to soaps, Brad. So, are we ever going to talk about Days of Our Lives? Asks Matt in the chat. And that was me actually asking her. No, we're not. We're not going to talk about Days of Our Lives.
You
But
did a
we
little
are.
bit.
No, so bananas galore. Okay, I was shocked. I was shocked, honestly. I didn't think that we were going to start the Clyde Weston caper and then like end it in 2 days. And I certainly didn't see it being because Kat's mom, Katerina, bursts through the door and shoots him.
No.
Like that was a left turn.
She even thought about shooting Chad and her daughter.
You're not my daughter. I am, Mama. I am your daughter. Yes, I saw it.
Yeah.
You don't
She
look
was
like her.
kinda like,
They changed my face.
I think she kind of had like, maybe she was brainwashed,
Kinda. That's
or
what they were
perhaps
worried
had
about.
like
Right?
Stockholm thing going on.
Oh yeah. It's like he had her. He's like so. The timeline of this thing is so muddy because apparently this whole story started before we even met John Black in the '80s.
Yeah.
Back when he was still pawning it up for Stefano Demira or Victor Kiriakis. I'm not sure exactly who had the pawn at what point.
Uh, and wait till Katerina finds out that her dad's no good and he's dead.
Right?
Constantine's her father.
You killed my father, Xander. Oh, I would do it again. I would do it again. You stole my Fiona. You don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I don't shoot Teresa. Who's Teresa?
Well,
oh, gosh.
I was kind of surprised, though. I was kind of surprised that Katerina just busted in there and shot him. Boom.
Yeah.
No questions, no looking around, no nothing. Shot him in the chest.
Yes.
Fast.
Yes. It's like her little conversation with with Kat and Chad was enough for her to go, you know what, I'm done with this. Just leaving to go
Mhm.
shoot this man. I'm done. Tired of
Yeah,
this. I've
she
been doing this for 45 years. I need it to be
she
over.
got away from Cat easy, didn't she?
Super
Like,
easy. So
yep.
so they were in cahoots. That's what it is. I mean, I'm just waiting for the next left turn. I mean, what a shock. What a surprise. I didn't see it going that way. And now Clyde's gone. Does that
Do you
make
think he's gonna die? Do you think he's gonna die?
No, I don't think. I think if he was going to die, he would have died on the floor of that hotel room.
I think so too.
But since he's in a coma, he's on ice. He's the revolving door of the cast and characters. The days of our lives continue. He's just on the other side of the revolution right now.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be
Mm-hmm.
long before they slide his comatose body right on through the entranceway once more. And
Right.
once he
And
does, is
it won't be long either when Gabby and JJ are an item.
oh
They'll be
yeah.
together.
Oh, I mean, I'm surprised they aren't boning already.
I'm surprised they haven't at least shared some kind of kiss or
You know, I
something.
mean, they're just she's a serial cuddler. You know, there's
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, there's that.
I
Huh?
was dreaming of Stefan. No, you weren't. You were just feeling up a little JJ Devereaux, was what you were doing. All right.
JJ's kind of cute. JJ Devereaux's cute.
In a little microscopic way, sure. He's a little shrimp, isn't he? Come on.
He's a smaller, yeah,
Come
he
on.
seems to be a smaller frame
Like
person.
last week, Brian
Looks
Datilla
like
was.
a child. Looks like a child.
Brian, who plays Lucas Horton, last week was talking about lifts in his shoes and being tiny and having to reach up like Little Mac to punch people like in video games and stuff. Like, just imagine me fighting, like EJ, right? I'm sorry. JJ. JJ's the shrimp. All right, let me just say that.
Well, Johnny's not a big old giant dude either.
Johnny Demira? Johnny?
Yeah,
Johnny Demira? You're talking about Johnny?
yeah,
Little cheating Johnny?
Johnny.
Little Carson Boatman?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a little shrimp too, isn't he?
and he's a smaller person.
But he does bench pressing. You can tell he does a little bit of bench pressing.
A little bit. I think they all do a little bit of bench
They
press.
probably bench press together. They're like, hey, do
And,
you want to go take lunch and then hit the press? And the answer is
and
yes.
and Paul's got a little hair on his chest.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
Oh, does
I
he?
saw that. Didn't you?
I don't know if I'm necessarily always paying attention. Like,
Well, that
I,
nerve
I,
got
I will say that the audio of all of these episodes always reaches my ears. As to whether or not I'm watching the visual at the same time, that's up for debate. That's up for debate. There was actually a controversy that came from that scene, though, Ma.
really.
A real life, real controversy. Not a real life, real controversy. Let me not oversell this. But a real life, real, genuine, honest to God, and correct criticism of soap operas came out of this. One that I can't say you're crazy, you're looking into it too much, you're not just here to have a good time. A real one.
Okay, what was it?
Philip has a fake leg.
Oh, I didn't
And,
realize that Philip has a fake leg.
well, that's because he doesn't anymore.
So he used to have a prosthetic.
So he has so he's supposed to, like, there's been nothing in the plot that has erased this fact that he's supposed to have a prosthetic leg. So he answers this door wearing a towel, and they have the full body shot of him, in which you can see he has two real legs. And
I
so
saw
someone
that.
was like, "Hey, Philip's got a fake leg. What's going on with that?" And I got to tell you, folks, if you're going to criticize the show, this is what you criticize the show over: something real, something tangible, and something that, yeah, that was an oversight, a real one.
Oh, and it's Salem and everything. There could have been some kind of Dr. Roth thing, and he could have been like implanted with a little leg bud, and it would have grew him a leg.
Well, that's probably what happened, and we just haven't gotten to that point of the story. Or we're going to have to wait 6 months for Days to realize that there was some reaction to Philip not having two legs, and then we got to find out what happened to his fake leg months
But
from
like
now.
with Days too, though, they could just like, well, whatever, and they won't address it at all.
He just grew back. You're right. He had a little Dr. Rolf nub he had installed. It just grew to a leg like Deadpool. Yes, that's exactly it. Exactly it. Jeannie says for years they forgot that he lost his leg. So at this point, it no longer actually happened. It's been retconned out of Philip's history.
So it is what they call a retcon.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, this one, yes, this is if we move forward with Philip having never have lost that leg, then total retcon, and I'm here for it too. Honestly, as a amateur as hell writer, I would never, ever, ever remove a limb from an actor that has all of those limbs, because then you have to think about it forever for the rest of that project, however long it is. And if it's
And
soap, and if it's a
it
soap,
would
it could be 30 years.
cost you studio time constantly.
You got to keep it in mind. You got to not include it in the shot, and then eventually it becomes obvious you're not including the fact that this person actually has two legs, and so you're trying to film it in a way in which you don't see it. And ba-do. You know, it's just
You know
it's
what
too
would be,
much.
you know
It's too
what would be
much.
so funny if they'd have kept him with a prosthetic leg and say, you know, he's cruising around and folks don't know he's got a prosthetic leg.
Hmm.
And then like someone like Clyde shoots him in it and he's like,
Yeah.
what are you trying to do? Tickle me or something?
Yes, that would be so good. So good. So good. Amaya agrees that, you know, you should probably avoid writing it into the plot if the actor has all the limbs, because then you do have to think about it. But she is a forgiving audience member, just like we are, and follows that up by saying, the fake leg isn't going to look fake anyway. You know, I mean, maybe artificial skin technology has gotten to a point in which, from a distance, it looks just like human skin and not like silicone. Maybe.
We go.
I mean, a lot of my memories, a lot of the way that I imagine things is from the late 90s and early 2000s. It doesn't matter what's actually going on today. My imagination is stuck in the late 90s and early 2000s, okay? So, prosthetics and robotics and that sort of stuff looks like the Leprechaun 3 in space to me. So, you know, like it's it
During
just
Halloween, during Halloween time, your dad was watching a bunch of that, you know, watching some leper. It's like,
uh,
how many leprechaun movies are there? And he
God,
goes, I don't know. There's a lot.
there's like seven. There's like
That's a
seven.
lot.
They made like two into the theater and just kept pumping them out on video. Like you can go to
That's
Hollywood Video and get the latest Leprechaun movie. Amaya says that I'm trying to be more forgiving because a lot of fans have made complaining their job, and I just want to watch the show. Amaya, high five up top. I'm right here for you.
Exactly.
I am with you,
Exactly.
and I have a good time.
Now, these soap operas are supposed to take me away, not give me a dose of reality.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to watch this thing and go, gosh darn it, that's not how it's supposed to be. I'm supposed to watch it and go, God, that was silly. Oh, that was stupid. Oh, I love it. Because come on, we got. When you have moments like Alex calling Johnny a little bitch, you can't do anything but just smile and be entertained.
Well,
You know?
I was very entertained by
Like,
it.
because Johnny is basically just handing his affair over to Alex and being like,
Right.
right, Alex, you're gonna cover for me, right, chum, right,
Right.
old buddy, old pal,
And putting Alex in a bad spot on the regular.
big time. Big
Yes.
time. And then Alex is like, what am I gonna? I mean, I could blow this up, or I can like be a bro. What am I gonna? All right, I'll be a bro for now, but then I'm also going to tell Johnny you're being a little bitch, and I'm just gonna
Well, and
continue to
Johnny's
quote him.
not somebody you want to be a bro for anyway.
Johnny is showing his butt big time. You know, I like he went from like the good Demira to just this dude that just can't make a good choice.
Well, I think he's turning into EJ Jr. He does
Little
well.
EJ Jr. So what he's got to do is
Elvis.
he's got to get wind of this whole check thing, right? And then
Mhm.
he's gonna be like, all right, Joy, I'm gonna write you a check for twice as much. Please leave.
Mhm.
Please leave. I do like EJ's little like dance that he did because he was trying to pay her off, right? She had the check and da-da-da-da, and then I don't know, somebody else walked up. I can't remember who it was. It was a
It's
week
Kate.
ago now. Hmm? Kate?
Kate.
Oh yeah, Kate. Yes. Because Kate's like, oh, I'm immediately suspicious. I don't trust anything that's going on. I'm
Mhm.
Kate. I'm starting to get some villainy from Kate.
A little bit,
A
huh?
little bit, right? Like I guess they just turned her villain button off for a while.
See villainy. I see Mean Girl.
Mean Girl. Okay, okay, all right. I'll take that for sure. It's like they turned down the Mean Girl knob for a little while, and now they're turning it back up.
Mhm.
and she's starting to act. I guess I'll just call it the Kate of old, because I don't really know what Kate of old would be, but I'm gonna say that she's acting like Kate of old. She's not acting like the Kate that's sitting at the Brady pub all the time doing the books.
No,
You know, she's not sitting there doing the numbers.
no, no. And she got a smarty mouth too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she does. She does. She'll just. I don't know. What does Roman see in her? I don't know, folks. Take me through the Roman and Kate romance.
Way around more.
Oh, really? Hmm. Hmm. So you don't know what Kate sees in Roman, huh?
Exactly.
Not
really.
I think that what they are suffering from is just still being on the show. You know what I mean? You know what I mean by that? Like they're still on the show. And I'm not saying that they need to leave. I'm just saying that they're on the show while stories were focused on other people for so long that in the year and a half that we've been watching Days of Our Lives, I still really don't know shit about him. You know, Roman and Marlena, big super couple from way before. Roman recast and come back dead, alive 3 times in his whole career. Josh Taylor has been Roman Brady since like 2011 or something like that, or even later, or earlier, or whatever. And I don't know crap about this man.
No, they don't. They don't. Well, no, they haven't. We have seen Robin be supporting in someone else's arc since we started watching.
Yeah.
This is the closest we've seen to Kate getting an arc is Body and Soul. So, no. And we haven't seen a lot of like history of theirs. No. We haven't seen a lot of like flashbacks of theirs. Like we have the other characters. We've seen some flashbacky stuff.
Now, is Roman popular? Is Roman here? Is Roman such a mainstay because of John and Marlena? Like you needed Roman around to continue to sell John and Marlena angst? Is that what it was? I'm not sure. Jeannie, though, informing us that EJ has always been mean. mean. It's always been mean.
I wish they'd bring Susan back because I love Susan.
And she also says that Kate was also so bad, and no one was ever good enough for her kids. So I guess that's a main Kate thing: is nobody's good enough for her kids.
So she must have hated Sammy then.
Probably. Kate versus Sammy,
Sammy and Lucas were a big thing, right?
But Brian Datillo also made it sound like they were a big thing when they were 15. Were they still a big thing when they were 30? I don't know.
I think they did a back and forth thing, break up, get together, break up, get together kind of thing.
Look at that, Ma. But like as you said it, and you know we have a YouTube delay, so you and the chat were of like-minded. Okay. Because they say Kate versus Sammy was one of the best rivalries on Days. That lady never let Sammy breathe, and vice versa.
Oh my gosh, I must have missed a whole big old collaboration of slaps.
I feel like had we been Days fans growing up, like we were for ABC shows, Sammy would have been your character. I just get this feeling because you really like that soap woman, the soap villain, but not the one that's so evil that she's irredeemable. You can't find the part that you love, you know, like the one that's just willing to go there soap wise.
I just like myself a badass. Yes,
like I can't wait to talk to you about General Hospital at 11, given the whole revelation that we got at the Quartermain house and the fallout between Willow and Carly. I cannot wait to hear your opinion on that later on today on this channel at 11.
That was some good television.
It sure was. Roman is important because he is a Brady. He was the first Brady we ever met, says Amaya. So he's important because of the legendary status of the name Roman Brady, not necessarily because of what he's been up to for the last couple of years.
Well, I do like the Brady pub. I love the Brady pub.
The sets on Days are really fun.
Yeah, I love the Brady pub. And, I there's a lot of great conversation that happens in there.
There is.
And a good cross section of all of Salem. Everybody loves a Brady pub. Right? Not
Yes.
everybody loves the bistro.
Not everybody loves the bistro, no, but everybody has always loved the Brady family food. Because I got to tell you, even in olden days, they were selling food. It wasn't the pub, it was the fishery or the fish fry or whatever. But they were there
Hmm.
on the docks and they were selling fish right out of the Salem Harbor, cooked up.
Well, now they look like an In-N-Out burger. That's the only thing I ever see anybody have in front of them.
It's just a burger. Yeah.
The burger, burger and fries.
Maybe it's a fish burger.
Oh, I see breakfast, everyone.
Well, perhaps the cafeteria over at CBS Television Studio or City or whatever it is that they film this thing at. The pub, I don't even know where they filmed this thing. I don't know what studio they're in. It's not Television City though. That's the wrong network.
No, it's not over there by the. Okay, well, it's got to be right there in the valley, close.
It's I don't know if it's in the so it's not near the Peacock Theater. You know, it's not going to be in the heart of DTLA or anything like that. You know, like even Prospect Park Studios is a little flung away from the denseness of Los Angeles.
Yeah, it's like stuck in. It seems like it's right in the middle of an old
Oh,
residential
it
zone.
totally is. It's completely surrounded by houses on all
Yeah.
four sides. It is in the middle of a residence in which they were like, "Hey, we want to build houses here." In the studio, it's like, we're still making movies. They just build houses around
Yeah.
it. Oh gosh, at the Burbank Studios. Oh my God, I passed the Burbank Studios. That's right. That's right. We learned this, mother. We learned this at the last day of days, in which I had a little excited, like, "Ooh, I passed by that place million times." The
Oh,
Burbank Studios.
now you remember where it's at, and
Now,
it's
now
very
when I
close to
pass
your
the
house.
Burbank Studios again, I'm going to be like, "Oh my God, are they filming Days of Our Lives right now?" Xander, Xander, Brady. We'll see if anybody hears me. Can you imagine if I was there hanging out and then like Sherry Jimenez was like, "Oh my God, Matt," and then Queen of the Demiras or whatever her name is on Twitter. I don't know. We met her a couple of times at events. She's
Hmm.
big Kristen Demira fan.
Hmm.
Lovely, wonderful Days fan. Really nice lady. Long curly hair. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about.
Hmm.
Um, so she, because of her connection and longtime friendship with actors who have been on Days, got a private studio tour,
Oh my word!
hanging out with those folks.
Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be so
Oh,
cool. So Julie Dove, I know you're listening. When you're done hanging out with Maurice Bernard uh his his thing, State of
is she
Mind.
gonna be? Is she gonna be on State of Mind?
Yeah, I think she filmed it today. I don't know when it's going to be broadcast, but
Oh,
she recently went and hung out with Maurice.
well, that's cool.
That is really cool. That is
That's
really cool.
something.
Julie Dove, I'm so happy for you. You just living your television dream at this point. It's just like
Yes.
me if I were to have gotten a job, or you if you were to have gotten a job on a soap, and then suddenly you're talking to Maurice Bernard on State of Mind, talking about your development, your childhood, growing up, all that sort of stuff.
I saw something recently on Twitter from Julie Dove, stating how wonderful 2024 has been to her.
Yes, yes. So that's really cool.
How
That is
grateful
really,
she is
really cool. So I
for
want to
all that.
become close friends with somebody on the show too, so we can get a tour. It's a very transactional friendship I'm looking for.
I would love
Oh gosh. Oh, Michelle says the Brady's Pub has the best clam chowder. It's
that.
probably
Yes,
Caroline's recipe, I bet,
that's what they're known for is their clam
is their
chowder.
clam chowder because of the holdover from when they were a fish joint. And I bet it's Caroline's recipe.
I bet it is
I bet
too.
it is. I bet it is. Mama, you would have enjoyed Caroline. Caroline was a spitfire. She put Victor Kiriakis in his place several times over.
Well, I would have loved it. So, what is your favorite set, Matt?
Uh, Gosh, it really is hard for me to not love the Horton Town Square every single time. Every single time it's there. I
Love the
love
port.
that set.
I do too.
But also at the same token, maybe it's just outdoor sets I enjoy because I like Rice Plaza over on General Hospital quite a bit as well. Especially during the holidays, which is when they use it the most.
Yes, I like it too. I like the Horton Town Square too. But I have to say, but I was thinking more houses. I love the Demera house because
I
there is
do.
always something going on over there
The
that's crazy.
The Numera house is good. It's very, very white. It's just very
It's
white.
swanky. Out of everything, though, it's the swankiest.
Yeah, it's pretty swanky. They got a nice kitchen. Um,
The Kiriakis house looks more like it looks comfy, but the Kiriakis house looks very dated.
it's dated. It feels stuffy. Like I feel like anytime they're in the Kyriakis house, I want them to open a window.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which is fine. You know, it's cool. But it's got like some classic old school style. I think that there's a lot of taste that has changed over the last, we'll say, just 24 years. We'll say, just to give it a round number of like the
Mm-hmm.
year 2000 to now.
Yeah.
Taste, especially when it comes to what the inside of your house looks like, has changed greatly.
Oh, sure.
Because you don't
Trends change constantly.
because like this like the overly cluttered wood paneled kind of dark cornered affluence of, say, the Kyriakis house is a holdover from like the 70s and 80s of that's what you're really loaded. Wow, you're so rich, look at all of your stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it's like that anymore. I think it's more like, wow, look at the beauty of the stuff you have, not necessarily look at the amount of crap that you've stuck into this house. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah.
giant armoires and art pieces and statues off in the corner, and just there's not a bare spot. You know the house I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the house I grew up in, let me tell you. But there was a lot of houses I visited where it was just load of shelves upon shelves of knickknacks and treasures and statues and this and that and
Mm-hmm.
chingaderas, I think is the best way to call it. Chingaderas. Just chingaderas everywhere.
Chingaderas. I've never heard that, but you made it
I
up just
believe
now.
it's I believe it's Espanol for just like useless item.
Okay.
It's a knickknack,
Mm-hmm.
a chingadera. Well, it's because I don't know Spanish very well, folks. I know enough to like be able to read where the bathroom is, or if there's danger nearby, or where the exit might be.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't, I know a tiny, tiny bit where I can like pick out a word in maybe every other sentence and understand what the
right?
conversation's at least about.
And like if somebody's talking about a topic that I'm familiar with, like warehousing or something that I do professionally, and something comes out in Spanish, I will probably be able to pick out a word or two that I'm like, okay, I know you're talking about where we're putting the pallets. Now, as
Mm-hmm.
for specifics, what the problem is, I can't get it. I don't know, but I know we're talking about pallets and their placement, you know?
I told your niece a couple of weeks ago, you better knock it off, girl. I find myself a chancellor. And she knew what that was.
Ooh, I don't know. I think you even said it right. She knew what you were talking about. But all that just to tell the story of me embarrassing myself in this warehouse I work in, where they're talking in Spanish. I don't know what it is, but I hear a word that sounds similar to chingadera, and so I just walk by and I go chingadera, and then I continue going, and then they all bust out laughing. They call me David, by the way.
Oh, well, that is your name, sort
That
of.
is my name. So it all came about because I was being introduced, and then they immediately forgot my name, as you do when you're introduced to somebody you were starting to work with. You never remember their name for the first four, okay? So they immediately forgot my name, and then one guy's like, "No, I think his name is David," and so he started calling me David, and I'm like, "All right, man," and yeah, and I go, "Well, it's Matt, but my middle name is David," and he goes, "Ah, David," and now everybody in there just calls me David.
Oh my gosh, that's weird.
Hey, David. Hi,
Weird.
guys.
That's weird. What even?
Whatever. Whatever. It's a part of my name, though.
So, how long do you think they will stay where where Clyde is? How
Mm.
long before they double back and go ahead and go back to Salem
Because they're in
and
Canada
bring
now, right?
Katarina with them?
A day. What reason is there to continue to be in Canada? It was all to get Clyde. So unless
Right.
there's going to be a little powwow of like, sit down, mom, we have to talk to you about Aaron and Felicity and and all
Mm-hmm.
of these people before we go back to Salem, which might be a thing. There could be some sort of like, well, what the hell happened, ma?
Mm-hmm.
Conversation before they pack up and leave. They could do that on the airplane though. Just grab an airplane set.
Yep.
I'm with it. I'm with it. I want them to find a jumbo jet set though, not a private plane. A jumbo jet where they have extras.
No, it doesn't.
Just sitting around.
They're on the Demira private
Ugh,
jet.
they're always on a private jet. Just want them in coach one day, you know? It's true about the Kiriakis house, says Sandra. Well, thank you, Sandra. Kiriakis
Mm-hmm.
house is nice. The Demir house is the best one. Not many people have houses, that's a thing. I can't even call where Marlena lives a house. It feels more like a retiree condo,
It's a condo.
you
She
know?
lives in a condo, a high-rise condo, and so does Kayla and Steve.
Right, so, she used to live in a house. She used to live in a house with two floors,
Mm.
you know. The kids were always upstairs eating and sleeping. There was a maid, and a gardener who was an ex-con.
Oh, what do you know?
Because Marlena, she could never do wrong, right? She's always that's why it was so horrible when the devil possessed her, because Marlena's so good.
She is.
So, she hired an
Maya,
ex-con.
I love watching Marlena though when she's not. No, we see a lot of caring, listening Marlena.
Yes.
And she's great at it.
Oh yeah.
But I like her when she got a little spunk though.
A little fire
I
in her.
Yeah,
She
a
got all
little
kinds of
fire.
that.
Oh yeah. When they let her do that. And like I said, we haven't been watching it that long. So I know there's all kinds of good Marlena stuff that I missed. I know it. I know it. But when they give her a smart mouth or a little smirky something or something, I love it. I love Marlena with a little bit of fire.
I feel like
And
we're
so,
gonna.
a couple of weeks ago, she was talking to Julie, I believe. And I don't know. I just was really, really impressed with Deidre that day. She's choking on her words, and it just seems so dang believable and good. I just loved it.
She is dang believable and good. Like really, like she. I don't even have words for how great Teacher Hall is. Like honestly,
Good.
you know, um, up to the point too where they're like, "Okay, Deidre, we need you to shed a tear for this for this scene," and she asks, "Okay, upstage or downstage eye?"
Right?
You're like, she's got that control, you know.
Right.
You
It's
want me to you
crazy.
want me to cry in the camera or just on the other side of the camera for it to be like, "Oh, is she crying?" Just beyond great. And then we're it's such a unique, like bittersweet thing that we're going to be experiencing here in the next couple of weeks, because we're going to have some amazing Deidre Hall work, but for a really sad reason. And I'm
Yeah.
I'm hopeful to be to the end of that story too, so we don't have any more funerals to look forward to.
No, I don't want, oh my gosh, no. But you know what we are seeing, which I love, I love it. And we really saw it this week.
Yeah.
Some good old Christmas decorations.
Christmas
Jordan House, where
music,
with all the twinkly lights and the poinsettias everywhere, and
decoration.
everybody's got a tree, and and a little bit of Christmas music in the background. I love all
Oh
of
my
it.
gosh, there was an argument happening. There was people not getting along. They were arguing about something. It was early in the week. It was like Monday or something, and then I think it was at the Brady pub, and they were just sniping at one another. And in the
Mhm.
background, do 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 do
Yes,
do
and
do
at
do
the
do
pub they all
do.
have a little like a little acoustic kind of country feel to it.
Yeah, but it was still like, Christmas, soft Christmas bed music in the bed,
Yes.
ambient Christmas music, while these two
Mhm.
people were just like, it just made me laugh.
I love it.
It just made me laugh because Days of Our Lives music is so old on purpose.
Yes, and also a lot of the background music is composed and performed by somebody on staff.
Yes, yes,
There's
yes. Um, what was it? Julie said that Ken Corday did a lot of the music when he was younger, like
Mhm.
in the 80s. I don't know if that's still the case. But they have a theme, they have a style, they have a style of music that they're going for. General Hospital, which is the other show we cover on this program, on this channel, which is why I bring it up in this moment. They go for whatever like a modern sound is. It's
Mhm.
not necessarily like club music, but it sounds like music you would hear on television today.
Yes, more current.
Yes, Days
And
doesn't
it's
do
always
that.
been like that. Do you remember back in the 80s, like the later half of the 80s, early 90s, everything had a saxophone in it.
Right.
Everything had Kenny G feet.
The saxophone or clarinet or something. Oh yeah, the Kenny G Faces of the Heart theme. I know what you're talking about. Days of
Yep.
Our Lives, though. Now, olden days, the '80s, the olden days, a little more on the pulse of like what modern sounds are, but it's
Hmm.
still the '80s modern sound, So it doesn't sound modern now, but it
Right.
did back then with the synthesized this and the this that. They loved Phil Collins. What was the band he was in? Police or Oasis
Phil
or something?
Collins. Yes. Phil
He was in the
Collins.
Police. Was he?
No,
Was that?
no.
What was he in? He was in some band.
Genesis. Genesis.
Genesis. Okay, well, regardless, they loved him and his music. And
Hmm.
I have seen in olden days watches over the course of 2 weeks, two montages of scenes, not flashbacks, but like concurrent things that are happening with multiple characters. Bye, Finola. Uh, she fell. She's going after Carly. Oh, she's look at that. This is a hint. Finola Hughes has fallen in between Cynthia Watros and Laura Wright, separating them from murdering each other over
Hmm.
Willow trying to take those kids. Anyway, anyway, more on that at 11. So two
Sure.
two back to back, but anyway, lots of Phil Collins. I can see
Lots.
it coming in the air tonight. You know
Really.
that song.
That song is a monster song.
I know it's a monster song now. I don't know if it was a monster song when it first came out.
It was. And
Well,
it stayed a monster song all these
then
years.
they either made good friends with Phil Collins or shelled the money out, or licensing was just much more reasonable back then. But they did, I can see it coming in the air tonight. And it
Dun,
was,
dun,
yeah,
dun,
yeah,
dun.
yeah, yeah. And you know how that slow part is really freaking long too.
Yes.
Before the beat drops for like the last 45 seconds of that dang song.
Yep.
It's a weird song. So it's really long, and it's all of these like, dramatic things. It's Todd, and it's Pete and Melissa, and they're hiding from the hitman that Steve Johnson had sent them. And they're hiding,
Mm.
and it's like Scooby Doo almost, where they go into the elevator and miss him just at the moment of time where he turns the corner. I can see it coming in the air tonight, ducking behind things, and then Melissa finds the clue, and she takes the thing off. She reads the clue, and she reacts. And then the guy comes around the corner. Boom. He shoots the gun, and Todd jumps in the way of Melissa right at the nick of time. All of that happening at the same time that freaking Savannah Wilder and old owner of Shenanigans, Josh Taylor, but not Roman, are getting it on. Okay? Miami Vice style. With
There's some good
pastels.
olden day stuff out there, isn't there,
With
Matt?
pastels and big hair. All right? Almost like Austin Powers dancing across the room. Almost. He rips the shirt off and he's like, "Oh, hello, hi." It's wild, ma. It is really good. It's so good, and it wouldn't be the same without Phil Collins.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh. Sincerely, this week felt like the end of the Clyde Weston caper this week. I really don't feel
It,
like they pushed a whole lot of other story. Other story happened, but I can't say they necessarily pushed it.
right.
So I'm looking forward to next week because I think next week is going to be huge when it comes to other tales. I
I
think we're
think
going to
so too.
find out whatever like Abe and Paulina's new thing is going to be. I feel like we're going to get the beginnings of some new plots because the door is now wide open for Aaron to continue his craziness with Tate and all of them, right?
Hmm.
And now he gets the my mom's alive, my sister's alive. He gets to cry some more.
But I have to say, though, for the actor that's playing Aaron,
Yeah.
I thought his scenes this week were so much better than what I've previously seen. I
Got some
thought
coaching.
that Aaron, 2 or 3 weeks ago, was overacting his butt off. I thought this week his scenes in the town square were good. I thought the Aaron stuff was a lot better this week.
Sometimes you just got to watch yourself. I'm not saying that he watched the edited product, but he probably saw some clips of the stuff that he'd filmed previously. Had some conversations, a little bit of coaching here and there,
You know what I'm talking
I
about,
do know exactly what you're talking about. It's
though?
like
Okay.
watching, like over on the other show, Cameron, Cameron Weber.
Mm-hmm.
When he would play emotion, he would suck a lot of air.
Mm-hmm.
And then over the course of time, he stopped doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. Honestly, I think Days of Our Lives is in a great place for them to start a lot of really fun stuff.
And they need to let good old Mark out of jail.
Let him out of jail. Come on. He was
Yeah.
manipulated. He didn't
Mark,
actually do
Mark,
nothing.
it would be, I would love to see the four green kids together for Christmas.
Might as well. Let's do
I
it.
want to see the four green kids together for Christmas. I want to see a reunion with the green kids and Katarina.
Yeah.
I would love to
Hey,
see all of that.
if we're gonna introduce a whole new family, 5 members deep, let's really do it. Let's invest some time into that.
Yeah, you have to decide what family is it? Is it Emilios? What was his name? Constantine Emilios?
Something like that.
Or the green family?
Maluya.
Which one is it?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know myself. I don't know myself. But I am excited. I
And
really
we
am.
don't know who the thought we don't there is no Mr. Green that we've seen.
Not yet.
Not
As it
yet.
turns out, they're all John Black's kids because they
That
took
would
his
be
DNA.
nuts.
Because they took his DNA. I don't know. I really don't know.
They could have.
They could have very easily. Maybe
They
the
could
Steve
have.
Johnson's kids.
Yeah. Maybe two of them are Steve Johnson's kids and two of them aren't.
Oh, wouldn't that be something?
That would be nuts.
I really haven't. I've got no clue as to what the direction of this is. Especially since they, we speculated over the last couple of weeks that the original intention of this story was to include John Black. So without him at all ever going to be able to be a part of it, who knows what this might have mutated into?
It had to mutate into something because it's very obvious. Yes, it's
Yeah.
very obvious to think that all of the viewers that John Black was supposed to be a much bigger part
Even
of
up
this.
up to the point where we're watching the end of this thing, where Katarina is introduced, comes to her revelation and her resolution, and then pulls it off all in the same hour.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that sounds like, hey, Ron, we don't have John. Accelerate the ending of this thing
Yep.
so we can move on to the next emotional beat for this family. So we can introduce, so we can start having Steve and Marlena involved with the, I don't know, the reunion of this family or the whatever it is. But we gotta move into this next direction, Ron Cavalardi. And he says, no, I'm not doing that. I quit.
I love the scene. I love the scene though where Marlena and Steve are talking, and Marlena is saying that now John can be relieved that he didn't harm Katarina.
Exactly. Right.
Fine.
Yeah. Big relief
And that
across
he
the
can
board for
let
everybody.
that go,
Mhm.
that all that guilt and angst that he was feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm with it. Well, like I said, I'm really excited. I think that the veterans of the show really do a great job of anchoring it. When you have those scenes between Steve and Marlena, for example, talking about John and how he'd have reacted and their emotional beats and all that sort of stuff, they're so good. They really
Mm-hmm.
are. Like they have earned their legendary status and the fact that they're still on this show. They really have earned it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think that there's a lot to be excited about for days, so long as
Mm-hmm.
you can continue to be excited about it, not held down by maybe some judgments or predetermined feelings that you have about things that you're watching right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like the door is wide open for all kinds of really, really fun stuff. And I really think that in the next coming year, we're going to see a bit of a turn when it comes to the intensity of the stories and the enjoyment
Right.
that y'all are having.
And of course, because and a lot of that comes with just time, progression of story. But
Yeah,
Days of Our Lives has a new creative team
exactly.
that will soon be seeing the
A hundred
episodes
percent.
for.
Yes, yes, and there 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 really is nothing like having a new writer on the show. Whether or not you enjoy the choices that they make, choices get made.
Mm-hmm.
Direction is reignited.
Mm-hmm.
It's inevitable. It always happens because these people come in with these fresh ideas.
Right.
So I'm excited for it. I just want my Rafe
We
Galen.
haven't, and we haven't, because I was looking at the credits recently. We haven't seen that switch yet.
No,
That's
I think it's like February. It's really coming pretty soon. I
not.
think it's
Mm-hmm.
like February or so. I don't know for sure, but I think that's around when. So we're getting into it. I think that we're seeing it. We saw the end of the Clyde Weston caper. I
Mm-hmm.
really feel as though Kate's nonsense is going to kind of affect home, body and soul.
I
There
think
was
so too.
already talk about, I don't know if it was a spoiler or something that actually happened in the show, which is hard to tell apart now because, uh, oh boy, sometimes you just constantly reading things you don't. Anyway, uh, regardless, something about maybe because they're producing the show, but they're really not airing it yet, or it's just starting to air or something, and then they've got this Kindle person or whatever her name is, Carrie Kindle, whatever she is, Leo's
Mm-hmm.
new rival, who's already like, you've
Yes.
ruined the show. You know.
Yes.
So I get the feeling that maybe the show is just gonna get canceled.
We know that the body and soul storyline does not survive 2025. I mean,
No, it's not still being recorded.
no.
The new writers come in May. Ron stuff airs through April. I really don't understand that. That oh, I see. I see. Ron stuff airs through April, and the beginning of May, I guess, is when the new stuff. So April. So four more months.
That's that right. Is it May is the sweeps time,
I
if it
don't know.
matters.
I don't know. I'm gonna trust Amaya though. She's usually right about stuff.
Doesn't it?
So regardless, just stay with it. Just stay with it. That means that in the next 4 months, though, you're going to see Ron either wrap up a lot of what he's been doing and make his stamp on those final months, or you're going to
Mhm.
see him just go nuts and not care. But either way, it should be really fun. I think.
We gotta say something.
I think. I mean, we're going to be here talking about it no matter what. The only thing that would
Probably.
stop us from being here to talk about it would be like, I can't even think of it. Even if Days didn't come on, I think that we'd still be on at 9 talking about something.
Probably would.
We did a whole podcast during the pandemic.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
The months that General Hospital was not on, we still covered GH in some capacity.
Yep.
We sure did. It was a
We
good time.
got creative, didn't
We did, and it really set the format of our show. So if you wanna hear us figure out how to be podcasters, folks, you can go ahead and give us a like over on what is our host, Podbean. Podbean.com/10th floor GH, TENTH floor GH, not with the letters or the numbers. And that is where you can find the entire history, the entire 5-year history of our podcasting life. You can find every episode of Days for Dummies. You can find every celebrity interview we've done. You can find every podcast episode of General Hospital we have done. Like really, it's there. You just got to go click it.
And
Years of content.
and we're going to be looking for a guest still. We got Brian to come on the show last week, which was
Sure did.
fun and
Super
such a
fun.
good interview. And when you're able to engage with somebody well over an hour and it felt like 10 minutes, that's excellent.
That means it's good. So check that out. In between now and us coming back at 11 for General Hospital, folks, check out our interview with Brian Datillo. And in the meantime, like the video if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel if you're having a good time. Subscribe to the channel if you're not having a good time. Subscribe to the channel if you just want to find out what we're talking about so you can tell me I'm wrong. That's okay. All of that is welcome here on this channel. I enjoy the engagement. If you didn't join us live, if you're watching on the replay, leave a comment with your thoughts and feelings about the topics that we discussed, your thoughts and feelings about Days of Our Lives, or even just an emoji that represents how you feel. Whatever you want to do.
All your clicks help us.
All of them. Every little click that you do around this channel page helps us because YouTube's watching very closely. They're watching us very closely and they're watching you very closely too. Keep that in mind. All right. So when you search Justin Bieber no shirt, Google remembers that. Google remembers that.
I think the weirdest thing, and it's happened to me more than once, and I'm sure it's happened to some of you guys too, where it's you're just speaking about something. You haven't searched it. You just spoke of it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's on your feed.
That's because they listening.
It's a creepy thing, isn't it? They are listening. They really are.
But at least they're showing you things you want to see.
Yeah.
Oh man, I need a new vacuum. Boom, vacuum ads.
Oh yes. It's like, boy, oh boy, you have every vacuum cord. Yeah.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised if I don't wind up with some vacuums on my feet after this.
So that means everybody just click on all of the 10th floor topics, click on all of your soap opera topics, click on anything that says Days of Our Lives, General Hospital, or 10th floor. That way you can always be shown us.
Mhm.
Everywhere you go,
Yes.
you're going to see our faces. You're going to see a link. You're going to see an ad. You're going to see 10th Floor Podcast everywhere. And I appreciate that.
Whatever shenanigans we might be up to.
Shenanigans. I need to get back to shenanigans. I'm going to leave Brady's Pub behind. Shenanigans is where it should be. Gotta reopen that bar. Everybody had fun there. Where's the jukebox? All right, folks. That's it. I've been Matt.
I've been Kat.
And we'll see you just a little bit for 10th Floor Podcast. Goodbye, everybody.